What is up, guys? Today I'm gonna bring to you the man who introduced Sandara to the Austin and San Antonio markets, sales manager at Vicio, and has been a realtor over 7 years and sold multiple homes, real estate over multiple millions uh, in his career. So his name is Brandon Foskey, and he's been generous enough to just give us a couple of minutes of his time. So how are you doing today, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah. So, Brandon, just wanted to ask you, like, what made you get into real estate, like, at first?
Yeah, so I started in the mortgage industry kind of back before everything crashed in '07. Really enjoyed that and met a lot of great people, which kind of led me into the real estate. I wasn't a type of person that wanted to kind of sit behind a desk for 8 hours a day. I was more of a get out in front of people. Each day is different. Kind of, eat what you kill, if you will. I like to kind of have that no ceiling on income, no ceiling on possibilities, and the ability to grow. So real estate kind of gave me all those things.
Gotcha. So you were in the mortgage industry as well?
Yeah, I worked for
Before?
a wholesale mortgage company back in '06, '07 called First Magnus. Doesn't exist anymore, but we did a lot of the Alt-A subprime type stuff back in those days. So
Gotcha. And before you got into like the mortgage thing, what made you get into mortgage?
So I was actually right out of college. I took a sales job, and I basically sold office supplies, business to business, so kind of door to door type stuff. And stumbled upon a mortgage company where I was able to work with them and sell them a bunch of paper, and they offered me a job, and that's kind of how I got started.
Uh, I see. You said sales. I've been seeing that like a lot of good realtors that make it started off doing sales. Like, what made you get into sales? Is it always in your blood?
Always in
Or
my blood. Yeah, I was an athlete. It was either probably I wasn't good enough to play professionally, so it was one of those things that sales was always something I like to be around people, and I like to compete. As a former athlete, so sales was kind of a no brainer for me.
gotcha. Before like you got into sales, did you knew like sales is like a money thing, or was it going to be just like a game type of thing?
That's a good question. I think I love the competition aspect of it. I love to compete against my peers, compete against, other people in different companies that were competitors, whether I be selling real estate or any type of product. Obviously with that comes very good money. I figured if I couldn't be a professional athlete, I'd want to get into a profession that, creates a lot of wealth with people throughout the country and throughout the world. So it's kind of a mixture of both. I like to play the sales game. I like to compete, but I also like to make money.
Gotcha. Have you had
Best
any
of both worlds.
advice? Yeah, true. Have you had any advice for people that like want to get into sales and they see it like a little scary? Like, what is the path that you would take if you were starting over?
So I think the key really, especially in real estate, especially in Austin, the last couple of years has been, exploded. So there's been a lot of realtors that were making insane amount of money and a lot of people coming into the business. And I think that I think we went from 12,000 to 18,000 licensed agents in that time, people trying to get rich quick. So, my advice to people that want to get into real estate is you got to kind of be patient. You got to put in the time. You got to put in the work. When I started, I was showing houses 7 days a week. There wasn't really anything I wouldn't say no to showing, right, or say no to taking a list appointment or whatever. You just got to say yes and do it and put in your time, and then you create a network and create a pipeline where eventually you don't have to work as hard on that, right? You build a team around you to assist with things and take on showings and listing appointments and assist with that. So my advice is don't, enjoy the process, do the work that you need to do. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. If you want real estate or any sales gig to be kind of your forever, if you want to be a top producer, can't be scared to put in the work.
Like it. And I did just diving more, you said network. How important is networking like when you're starting off?
Everything. I think, I built my business from not only online leads, that was a big part of it. I worked with a brokerage that provided online leads. That was huge. But with that, it's, I always told people my job didn't stop when you close. My job, it's just my job shifts to, being there for you, whether it be, my advice, I always want any of my past clients to call me for anything, right? So, hey, my AC went out, my roof's leaking, my toilet's leaking, what do I need to do with this? I got this in the mail. What's it mean? I want to be that person that anytime they think of real estate, they think of me. So I'm consistently following up. I tell all my agents, when the banks are closed, call your clients, check in. It could be President's Day, July 4th, whatever. Check in with your past clients because that's your lifeline to more referrals. The cheapest type of lead is a referral, right? You pay hundreds, thousands of dollars a month for online leads. But if you just follow up with your past clients, build your network out, have people advocating on your behalf, that's the best kind of lead you can get and the highest converting lead.
Gotcha. And how, like some tactical stuff, like how could people like start building that out, like their referrals, networks?
I mean, I think it's important when you start in real estate that you have some sort of lead source that's outside just of your sphere of influence. You can still get there with sphere of influence. I'm not discounting that, but with online leads, paying for that kind of stuff, or getting with a broker that provides them, it can really jumpstart your career. And then just get out there and meet people. Don't be afraid to ask for the business. Don't be afraid to ask for referrals. A lot of times people are scared to ask for referrals. Oh, I don't want to bother them. Like, especially in Austin, right? The last couple of years as a buyer's agent, it was tough to get deals done. You were competing against 20, 30 people at a time. You'd have to go multiple offers over list. You'd have to really be really good at structuring an offer and setting expectations. So I was always like, listen, I'm so glad we got you your dream house or we got you in your next house. Just like I took care of you, I'll take care of any friends or family that, you'd like to refer to me. So yeah, please keep me in mind when you run into those conversations. So it's just not being afraid to ask for the business
Not being afraid
and
to ask.
getting out there and meeting people.
Gotcha. And what do you think about the current market right now? What do you think?
Interest rates kind of slowed it down pretty nicely. I mean, we all called it. We knew it was coming. I didn't anticipate it to double in 3 months, but they needed to raise rates. They did. They needed to slow it down a little bit. It was getting to a point where it just wasn't sustainable. I think, come first of the year, first quarter, hopefully we get some stability with interest rates. I think that's what's going to drive, getting back, more people getting back into the market. So, whether that be 6%, 6.5%, 7%, 5.5%, whatever it may be, if we can get some stability where it kind of doesn't move as much, I think the market will kind of get back to more. It's going to be more of a balanced market. I think it's 6 months, 7 months of inventory, which is huge. I mean, we were going with less than a month of inventory for 2 years. So I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for your FHA buyers, your VA buyers, your first time home buyers to be able to compete again. I think it's going to provide a lot of incentives for those people, especially in new builds. I think builders are going to be offering a ton of incentives. I think they're going to get hit the hardest. They kind of changed how they did business the last 2 years to try to maximize dollars, which we can all understand. But I think they're going to be not giving houses away, but it's going to be a great time to buy as far as incentives goes. I would say the next at least 12 months.
Got it. And what are the goals for you, like 6 months from now?
6 months from now, continue building my team, continue, acquiring clients, helping them get to the finish line, whether it be buying or selling, continuing to grow as obviously in my real estate career. It's always a goal to keep paying for my kids' stuff and my wife's stuff, providing the life that we want to live. So just continuing to grind.
Gotcha. So this is like just a question that I have, like a selfish question. If you're trying to do something, like what's the, what do you, like, that saying you say, burn the bridge so you can so you have no way to going back. Do you believe in that? Or you like having like a safety
I'm
thing?
not a big fan of burning the bridge. That whether it be, you leave a company, go to another company, you don't want to burn the bridge, or, I am a believer of kind of going all in. Especially in real estate, I think you take two, part-time realtors. I think there's a time and a place for that, but in a very competitive market like Austin, you really want to be working with somebody that does it full time. That's because it's kind of sink or swim. Put 2 feet in the water. Let's do it. versus kind of just tiptoeing, putting one foot in, one foot out. So I don't believe in burning bridges per se, but I also think that if you're going to do something, do it all the way. Do it full time, really put your best effort in there, but you also don't want to prevent something from, screwing somebody over or doing something to where you will have the opportunity to go back.
That's a good one.
Mhm.
I like that perspective.
Mhm.
So the last 3 questions we could just leave people with is some tactical stuff, because people like the tactics. Let's do top 3 things. Matter of fact, let's do this. This is better. So what is the one thing that you would tell yourself if you were starting over, like brand new agent? What is the one thing that you would do right off the bat?
I would probably do things very similar to how I did them. I would say I would probably get out more and maybe network a little bit more. I was working online leads, so I was very fortunate to have pretty instant success. But continuing to grow your brand and grow your place in the market, I probably would have did that a little bit more. Networking with lenders and roofers and plumbers and stuff like that, to where you build a good network there with all your subs. You probably would have did that a little bit more at the beginning.
Got it. All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this was of some value to you guys. You guys have any questions? Just put them down on the comments. Okay. Take care.